Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. I'm a full-time reseller, which means that I go to places like Goodwill, other thrift stores. I usually actually go to the Goodwill outlet, which is where you pay by the pound. My cost of goods is super cheap, and I take those items and flip them online for a profit on places like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop. Today I'm going to be doing a little Q&A for you guys. So over on Instagram, I asked you guys to ask me questions. If you're not following me over there, shameless plug, always linked down below. I'm so active over there. Like every day I'm posting stuff on my stories, and Instagram, like y'all over there are like kind of like my best friends. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You're making this lonely period of life not so lonely. So I'm sorry if I'm annoying over there, but also just know you're making this lonely girl not so lonely sometimes. But anyways, I asked over there if you guys had any questions. You did. You asked me a bunch of questions. I also asked on my community tab on YouTube if you guys had any questions, and I think maybe a couple people asked me questions here as well. So let's just jump right into it. I have all the questions screenshotted right here on my computer. I did look at them because, you know, I had to screenshot them as they were coming in, but it has been a couple days since I've asked you guys to ask me questions. So in no particular order, what is this? Is this a question? This doesn't look like a question. Oh yeah. After you photograph and list and you are ready to store your items, how do you indicate on your platform which tote they go into? Do you note it before you put it into the tote or after? How do you know what totes have room in them to be able to put stuff in? And yeah, she said she has trouble doing this and she needs some sort of system. So how I personally do it, actually, I should have taken you guys with me. I literally was photographing items earlier and took them to my storage unit. I should have done the whole process with you. I totally forgot about this question. But what I do is I actually have in my notes app on my phone, I have a note that is just for the totes in my storage unit. So my totes, they start with letters. And then they continue into numbers because, yeah, I don't know. I really need to redo my inventory system. I really need to condense into just letters. You know what I mean? I'm really still trying to purge and condense my inventory. But anyways, I have a note in my phone that is specifically just for the bins, the totes in my storage unit. And I will have next to them categorized like my regular clothes, and then I have jeans kind of down a little bit, and then I have sweaters, shoes, stuff like that. I will put the tote number or letter. So for instance, letter H, I was doing that today. I was putting some items in letter H. In the notes app, it will literally say H with the dash, and then I will put like about how many items I can fit in there. Usually it's like 10 or 15. I won't put it in that note app until I can fit like 10 or 15 items in that tote. You know what I mean? So I'll put H-10. That means I can put 10 items in this tote. So when I'm photographing items in the future, I know that I have room for about 10 items in tote H. And as I'm photographing, as I'm listing, you know, I batch do things. So I will batch photograph a bunch of items. I will batch list a bunch of items. And as I'm batch listing and photographing, in my SKU, in my listings, I will put bin H, tote H, because I know that I will be putting those items into tote H. Now, like I said, sweaters I have like separated, and jeans and shoes I have separated, but you get the gist. And then I also have on there the date. Like I try to work ahead as far as listings go, and I really have been bad with it. I've been really overwhelmed, but I will put like the date, like for instance, today is September 20th. So I will put 9/20 dash, and then I will put like 10 more. So I've been trying to list 10 items a day. I will put 10 more. And then as I'm listing, I kind of keep track there. So I remember what I have to list for what day, if that makes sense. So for the weekend, I already listed some for tomorrow. So in my notes app right now, I think it says like September 22nd. And then I think it says like 8 more or something like that. But anyways, that's how I keep track and how I know what tote can hold what items. And I hope that makes sense. The next question is, oh, this wasn't even a question, but somebody said, I absolutely love watching your YouTube channel. I love that you keep it real, girl. Thank you so much. Like, I'm constantly getting that comment, like, you keep it real, and I freaking appreciate that because I try to, you know, like, it's not even that I try to, it's just who I am. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that I can keep it real. And I'm glad that you guys stick around for the highs and the lows of my journey because it's not always rainbows and butterflies. You know what I mean? Next, best flip ever profit wise. So there are like two that come to mind. Okay, nothing crazy. Like there are some resellers that sell things in the thousands. I've never, but earlier this year, or maybe, yeah, actually 222. Oh my God, it's 222 right now. That's funny. I see it every day, I swear. And it literally just turned to 223. So I just saw it before it turned. Anyway, earlier this year, it might have even been at the end of last year, 2023, but I didn't find. My ex-boyfriend at the time found a Taylor Swift cardigan at the bins, so I paid like $1 for it, and I flipped it for $300, and then it got returned to me, and then I resold it again for like $250. That was an incredible flip because, like I said, I paid $1 into $300 and then into $250, and it sold really quickly. Again, a bins find. I wasn't thinking of this one at first, but I have to mention this. And I mention this a lot because I freaking love this sale. And this is probably one of my favorite flips ever. Was a vintage pair of Oshkosh overalls. I sold on eBay. They were a fruit print, baby size, like 18 months or something like that. Got them at the bins as well. Found them like in the bottom of an old bin. Which goes to show you need to be looking in old bins. You need to be looking at those ugly patterns because most people would probably think this pattern is ugly. I thought it was cute. But most people would think it's ugly, and ugly sells, you guys. But anyways, got that from the bins, paid about $1, and I flipped that again for $250. It might have been $200. But either way, like, what? And then lastly, one of my first favorite flips, like one of my aha moments in reselling where I was like, okay, maybe this is really meant for me. Maybe I'm doing the right thing, was years ago. I mean, right after I first started. I started in 2019, so it was probably 2019, no lie. I was yard sailing with my mom. I found a Kate Spade beautiful pink jacket. In fact, I probably still have the listing on Poshmark because I sold it on Poshmark, I remember, and I never, delete any of my listings when they sell. But I bought it for $5. I remember. The thing was gorgeous. It was pink. I had to sweater shave it a little bit when I got home, but it was gorgeous, like flawless, basically. And that also sold, I think, for close to $200. And that was like my biggest flip at the time, way back then. And that was just like like, wow, this can be a real thing, this whole reselling thing. And that one kind of just made me happy. Anyway, next question. So she asked 2 questions. The first one, tips for listing quickly, taking photos, etc. So my process for photographing used to be, I used to take measurements out my kitchen, used to do it on my floor, and then I once changed to a measurement table. So I would have to stop bending over. And then after I did batch measurements, I would come in here in my living room and I would hang everything on the wall and I would take photos of the items on the wall. And then I would fold them, I would haul them, whatever I had to do, and then I would list them. Now what I do, recently, actually probably about 6 months ago at this point, I have switched to flat lay photographs, which I used to kind of be against. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I always thought, no, hanging items make them look way better, which I still think they do look better most of the time when they're hung. But in this business, in my opinion, especially when you're a volume-based model, like most of us are, like we're not selling high-end things. We're trying to get things in and out of our store quickly. You know what I mean? We can't be perfectionists. And I learned that. So some things I will hang on the wall, like dresses, some coats, some shirts and blouses, if they don't look good flat laid on my kitchen floor, which is like a fake wood, so it doesn't look bad. If they don't look bad hung, I will flat lay them, which is 90% of my items. Cruise sweatshirts, t-shirts, jeans, that it really looks fine flat laid. And Depop, fun fact, Depop prefers flat lay photos, I heard, which is kind of funny. But I also white out the very first photo in all of my listings, which I think helps it look a little more professional. But otherwise, yeah, it's just literally on my kitchen floor, you guys. And that has saved me so much time. So I would say a big tip is figure out what works for you. Like if you think that flat lays will work for you, like I do. Like, I know people and resellers that have like a felt type board that is kind of, I wish I had room for this because I would totally make one or have somebody make me one, but it's like a felt board made out of like plywood, I think, and other type of wood. It's slanted with felt, and they put their items on that and flat lay photos like that. That way they don't have to like bend over on the floor. That does kind of get old after a while. Like, I get super lightheaded all the time. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, but yeah, just flat lays have really saved me a lot of time. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I hate taking photographs. So it usually takes me a little bit of time if I am like being stubborn that day. Yesterday, I took a lot of photographs like pretty quickly. Today, I did a decent amount, but I hate it, so I don't want to do it half the time. But listing quickly, tips for listing quickly, I would say just practice. You know, you're going to get quicker as you practice, and use things like Vendu if you're able to help you cross list, to help you list and make things quicker. On eBay, they will literally, like when you make a listing, they will fill out some of the item specifics for you based off of your title. So, and I feel like they've actually gotten better with it. I've noticed over the past couple weeks, I'm like, wow, I feel like more things are filled out for me already. And I actually start my listings on eBay on my phone, which is very weird. I know a lot of people do it on their computer, but I find it faster to start the listings on my phone on eBay. I will literally start a draft as I'm looking at an item. So I have a sweater here that I'm about to photograph. I will start the title, okay, vintage sweater, da 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 da. I will then take a photo of it and put it to the side. I will do that with another item. And then I will just import the photos into my listings, if that makes sense. I have just, I figured out just a way to make it go quicker because I hate it. And when I used to have to go from this room to that room, from this room to that room, like I feel like it took so much more time. And since I don't like doing it, I'm trying to get done as quickly as I can. And then she also asked how to list 20 plus items daily. Girl, I wish I knew, because I don't think I've ever listed 20 items daily. Like, I'm barely hitting 10 items some days. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I have been overwhelmed, and my minimum listing goal that I try to do every day is 10 listings a day. That is my goal, but I don't always hit that. I would love to do 20. Like, could I do 20? Yes, but I just have so much on my plate. With YouTube takes a lot of time. I post 3 videos a day. That takes a ton of time. With, my in-person markets, which I don't have any on the books now. My next one that was supposed to be October 12th got canceled. I found out today, so that is so sad. I would say, tip for myself to be able to list 20 plus items a day, because I would love to be there one day, is to stop procrastinating. Stop being distracted. If that means don't have a YouTube video on in the background while you take photos, then don't do that. Like, sometimes I will literally just have the house quiet. I won't even have music on in the background because it's just distracting for my brain and just distracting in general sometimes. And I find that if I work in the quiet, especially when I'm photographing, it goes quicker. So yeah, just find what works with you. You know you best, you know what I mean? And just make it fun and make it bearable. Kels asked, I haven't been saying people's names, but I don't think you'll mind. When you first started, how many listings did you try? And I think there's actually more to that question. Probably, how many listings did you try listing a day? Honestly, when I first started reselling, I was very part-time. I had a full-time job. I'm pretty sure I was in school taking college classes as well when I found reselling. So, I tried to be consistent and list every day, but sometimes it was 2 items a day. You know what I mean? Like, I could only thrift when I could. I was a single mom as well, and I had my daughter. She was like 2 at the time. So, I had very limited time, but it just goes to show, like, I could definitely list more now if I wanted to, because I was doing all that back then and was listing items a day. But like I said, it was like 2 items a day. In my opinion, as long as you're listing something every single day, it will keep the algorithms happy. And instead of listing like 10 items one day and none the rest of the week, I would suggest spreading those listings out throughout the week. Like, if you can only photograph 15 items for the entire week, then that's totally fine. List 2 items a day. And once you do that consistently for a couple weeks, you will see consistent sales as well. And like I said, when I first started, I was very part-time and I did not list very many at all. Maybe 2 listings a day. Like, I remember at one point when I got up to 5 listings a day and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a ton. But like I said, I had a full-time job. I was a single mom. Like, I had a lot going on. So if you're also first starting out part-time, you know, don't put so much pressure on yourself. That's my biggest advice. Don't put, and I know it's way easier said than done, but try not to put pressure on yourself, because I feel like that just makes it harder to work in general. Gloria, my girl Gloria asked, do you profit a ton from markets? So some markets I profit a ton, and some markets I profit just a little bit, but I have not done, and when she says markets, she means my in-person pop-up vintage flea markets that I have been participating in recently. I've done 4 so far, I believe. Yes, I have done 4 so far. And like I said earlier, my October one got canceled, unfortunately, so I really need to get more on the books. But I really do find it worth it. And in my opinion, it's so fun. It's a lot of work, yes. Like packing up the car with all my items, driving to the venue, unloading my car, you know, putting everything up. I have to put my clothing racks up. I have to hang everything up. And then you have to work for the several hours during the actual event. And then when you're done, you're like, oh, wait, it's finally done. Oh, but I have to tear everything down now. And then I have to drive home. Like the one that I did a couple weeks ago, that was 2 hours away from me. That one was my biggest profit market to date. I'm not going to say specifics, but let's just say that market covered my rent for this month. Like that's how much I made off of it. It covered my rent. And that, for me, I just got chills saying that. That was mind-blowing, because it's just wild, the potential. Now, that was a 7-hour market, and that's the market that it rained at, you guys, and I still made that much, and I'm so grateful and so blessed. And not all markets, like that's, you know, that's rare. That's not all markets. But, you know, even my slow markets, I still profited at, and it still was worth it to me. And it is so fun. It's so fun meeting people. It's so fun seeing the people that are loving these vintage clothes. It's so fun seeing the people that are buying my clothes. Like, I just love it so, so much. And I can't wait to do more. And I'm so grateful that I started this year. And yeah. She also asked, mental health check, how are you doing? So funny, because the day that I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions and she wrote this in, I kind of chuckled to myself when I read this, when she said mental health check, how are you doing? Because I was having a rough day. I'm pretty sure I was like sobbing that day, and just, you know, it was a rough day. But overall, you know, not bad, not great, I wouldn't say. Like I keep saying, I'm very overwhelmed. I don't know. I can't do everything by myself, but yet I am doing everything by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't say I can't do everything by myself, because I am doing it by myself, but I should say rather a person is not meant to do everything by themselves like I do, I don't think. And I kind of had that realization the other day. Like, you know, humans are not supposed to work as much as you do and have so much on their plates like I do. Like, I'm not going to really get into it too much, but like I'm a single mom of 2 kids, and I don't get very much help, and it's hard sometimes, and it's draining. So, you know, my mental health, it's been okay. I've really been trying to do things for myself, and I know that's something that we all should be working on, is allowing ourselves to have me time. And I feel like even allowing ourselves to do one thing for ourselves a day helps. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, almost every night I will sit down on the couch and I will watch Netflix. Like right now I'm watching The Circle, which is a reality like game show TV type thing. And I love reality TV, and just letting myself unwind like that just for a little bit every day, I feel like helps. And anyway, so yeah, my mental health, you know, it's okay. It could be better, it could be worse. But tonight I'm going to a concert. Me and my best friend Jenna, oh my gosh, we are going to see Post Malone. I'm wearing my butterfly top, you guys. This is the concert that I'm wearing my butterfly top to. I'm so excited because we have been wanting to see him for years. We have been loving his music for years, and we never like knew if it would happen for us. And we saw that he was coming to our area, and we're like, so tonight's the night, and I'm so freaking excited. So, you know, allowing myself to do things like this, go to a concert. It's been years since I've been to a concert. Like, this is going to be so good for my mental health to be able to just let loose, kid free a little bit. Like, thank you, mommy, because without her, I won't be able to do these things for real because she is watching my kids tonight, and she does for all of my markets as well. But she is watching my kids tonight, so I can go to this concert. And then afterwards, my best friend and I are having a little best friend sleepover, which is something we haven't done since we were teenagers. Like, she came to the beach with us for a little bit, and we technically had a sleepover, but I also had my kids there, you know. My Dallas was sleeping in the room with us, so, like, it wasn't a true BFF sleepover. Like, tonight's gonna be kid-free after a concert. It's gonna be incredible, and I'm just so grateful, and I feel like tonight is gonna do a lot of good for my mental health. But thank you so much for asking, Gloria. I hope your mental health is okay. Like, for real, I wish I could give you a hug because, girl, you are amazing. If y'all do not know Gloria from Via Glow, go check her out on YouTube, on Instagram. She is awesome. She keeps it real even more so than I do. I feel like I'm always cracking up watching her videos, and I feel like she's just a BFF next to me, a little BFF coworker as I'm working. And she also asked, have you seen improvements to starting at the gym? So I really have, and not only on my body, but just on my mental health. You know what I mean? I feel like it has helped my mental health. Now, I won't lie to you. I took a little month break from the gym after I went on vacation. So I didn't go to the gym on vacation because, you know, vacation. I was there for an entire week and I did not go to the gym. And after I came back, I really just failed a little bit. I mean, I wasn't really doing great. I'm not going to lie, you guys. Like, it's been rough. Things are getting better, but it was rough there a little bit after vacation. But so I did not go to the gym for like a whole month after vacation. Finally, about 2 weeks ago at this point, I made it back to the gym. I freaking have been going several times a week. I went yesterday and I went the day before yesterday. Also, I've been doing at-home workouts, like just YouTube, quick, nothing crazy. Like the one day I did a 15-minute Pilates workout on YouTube, which, let me tell you guys, like, you would not realize what body parts Pilates works until you do it, but that's actually crazy. Like, my body was so sore the next day. I definitely want to do that again. Like, so sore in a good way, you know what I mean? Like, I was working all the muscles. I also do, like, little quick 15-minute HIIT workouts. So many things like that I've been trying to do at home when I can't make it to the gym. But, yeah, I have been seeing improvements. My main goal of going to the gym was just to tone my body and to just help my mental health, just to have something for me to do, you know what I mean? Where it's just me, myself in the zone, like, and I love it. Honestly, I love it so much. Some days I don't want to go. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Today, I kind of felt the urge to go to the gym, but I'm not going because of my concert tonight. I don't want to wear myself out beforehand. Yeah, I really do feel like it helps my mental health, especially, and I freaking love it. And I also saw that you have been going to the gym a little bit, girl. I'm pretty sure you posted it on Instagram, but yeah, I love it. I'm kind of obsessed. Do I get a little intimidated sometimes? Yes, like, especially when it's busy there, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but who cares? Who really knows what they're doing? You know what I mean? Next, do you do a lot of comps on style-based pickups? Can you show how? Now, I do comps on style-based pickups. We want to open YouTube. Oh my gosh, I said YouTube. No, we want to open eBay. And what we have here is a New York & Company. I'm not even going to spell it out. Lace corset top. That's all I'm going to type in. I'm not going to type in the size. I'm not going to type in the color because that is not really important. What's important here is the main components of the top, which is a lace, and it has that corset vibe. So we're going to search it. Look at that first one, $67. That's crazy. But of course, as you know, with comps, we don't care what they're really priced at. We want to know what they're selling for. So we're going to filter to the solds. 3 have sold. 1 has sold for $29. 1 sold for $25, and 1 sold for $10. Now these, okay, if you go down here, there's more kind of along the same vibe. So yeah, this gives me kind of a baseline of what I think I should price my item at. Now, even if this was not the brand New York & Company, you know, New York & Company is not a brand that I would typically pick up, which is why this is a style-based pickup, because I'm not picking up New York & Company, and I only picked this up because of the style. But even if it was not New York & Company, I would just type in lace corset top or vintage, even better, vintage Y2K lace corset top, and see what the comps were to see what I should price at. So you saw what they were selling roundabout. You know, this exact top did not sell. We did not find this exact top, but that is okay. You're not going to find the exact item most times. But we saw they were selling right around that $30 mark, $25 to $30. So I'm going to list mine at $32.99. I always list higher than I expect to get. First of all, because I always have 10% sale going on eBay, and I also have recently implemented a 10% coupon on top of that on eBay to attract more buyers, and I feel like that has also really helped. But, so I like to price a little bit higher, so after the coupon and stuff like that, it's like closer to $30 and then even more off after my sale, which will take me right to that comp price. And I expect this to sell pretty quickly because of the style. Also with style-based pickups, I recommend putting as many keywords as you can. As you can see in my title, I put fairy core, boho, Y2K, romantic, like it has that lace, very romantic vibes. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question. The next question is how to price when comps seem to be all over the place for style-based pickups. This is from Stephanie, and I feel like I kind of just answered that accidentally. I didn't even realize this was going to be the next question, but I guess I really didn't answer the question, but I will say this for anything, not even just style-based pickups, but for anything where comps seem all over the place. First of all, go with your gut. And if you're just like, okay, my gut is telling me nothing, like look at the comps and just price in the mid-range, literally. Whatever, I would not price on the high end or else your item is probably going to be sitting forever. I would not price on the low end unless you don't mind getting a lower dollar amount for that. Like sometimes I will price lower just to get the item out really quickly, especially because I go to the bins, you know what I mean? But just do a mid-range price for that item. Another big thing that I use is Google Lens, Google image search, Google Lens on my phone to search an item. That last item, that lace cami, like corset top, I Google image search that just to see if there was any of the exact ones for sale. And there was. And actually, I'm pretty sure I saw one that sold. And people have them listed right around what I have them listed at, which also tells me that I'm pricing it okay. Next questions. Can you go over what you can use for mailing items with eBay and Poshmark, USPS boxes, mailers, etc.? So with Poshmark, you can pretty much use any priority mailbox and padded flat rate priority envelope box, anything like that. Let me show you. So this is one of the things you can use for Poshmark. This is a padded flat rate envelope. You can also use this for eBay, but only if you select this as the option. This is going to be pretty expensive, but for Poshmark, you can use anything that says priority mail, not priority mail express. It just has to say priority mail. I also have boxes. I have shoe boxes, the medium flat rate boxes, and the large flat rate boxes you can use for Poshmark. You can pretty much use anything, and as long as it's under 5 pounds, you can put it in that box, that mailer. I also use Tyvek envelopes, which I'm actually out of right now. My post office ran out, or they like don't have them out anymore, which I'm really sad about because that's where I used to get them from. But I use those as well a lot. So Poshmark, you know, pretty much any priority mail thing, which you can get for free from the post office. You can also order these online from the post office website and they will get shipped to your door. Unfortunately for me, they never deliver them to my apartment. I don't know why. So confused about it. I might actually have to try it again. I say that every time. I haven't tried it in a few months, but yeah, I order it. The order goes through and then they just never show up, but the order is still there. It's so weird, but they always have these at the post office and stuff like that as well. As far as eBay goes, I personally usually ship USPS Ground Advantage, which means first class, basically. It's what first class changed to. But first class used to be only up to a pound. Now Ground Advantage is up to like 70 pounds, I think. But I will buy Amazon poly bags. Now, these I usually use for Mercari and Depop. But then also on eBay, you will get once a quarter, if you have a store subscription, you will get a coupon for eBay shipping supplies. I have like a premium store, I think it is. So I get a $50 coupon 4 times a year. So that's $200 worth of shipping supplies that I get for free. I do have to pay tax. So it's usually like $3 in tax I have to pay every time. But last time I got 200 of these poly bags that say eBay, and they're super thick. Like, I love these ones. They're so freaking thick. But I got 200 of these for like $2.54. It was wild. But I use these pretty much for everything eBay related. I do have a little bit of bigger ones for bigger, bulkier items. Also for shoes, I will sometimes use the priority shoe box if the buyer selects that. I always give the buyer the option on eBay to do ground advantage or priority, and a lot of times I'll give them the priority flat rate option, padded flat rate option, because depending on where they live, that could be a cheap option. Because I have my eBay buyers pay shipping on eBay. I did not mention that. But I hope that answered all your questions. You know, eBay, like I said, mainly is just this for the ground advantage. And Poshmark, any priority envelope box for Poshmark, I try not to use these because I pay for these. I try to use the free supplies from the post office. I was gonna say, I feel like this video is getting a little long, but we only have 2 questions left. This one is, how do you keep track of your inventory? Good question. And actually, Vendoo does this for me, which is the main reason I love Vendoo, because I used to put all of my inventory into an inventory spreadsheet. I would use a Google Sheet, which is basically like an Excel spreadsheet on my computer, and do that every single day. And that would take up so much time. Not every day, but whenever I sourced items, would list items, I would put them in my spreadsheet. That took so much time. So Vendoo, I freaking love it. They're not sponsoring this video. They have sponsored me in the past. I wish they were sponsoring me again. But yeah, you can print off spreadsheets through Vendoo of your inventory, because, you know, I cross-list using Vendoo. They also have an inventory tracking system where, you know, it'll tell you when you listed this item, how long it's been listed, stuff like that. And like I said, you could literally change that into a spreadsheet. So there is no need for me to keep my own personal inventory spreadsheet anymore. Now, I do keep a spreadsheet for expenses because I need to keep track of what I'm spending at the bins, at thrift stores, at, you know, whatever else, like my software prices, my everything, my business expenses I need to keep track of. I do keep a spreadsheet like that. I literally just keep a Google Sheet, and for every quarter, I have a Google Sheet and just keep a list of what I'm spending every quarter and what I'm spending it on. So yeah, really, I personally do not have to put much effort into keeping an inventory spreadsheet myself, which is a main reason I continue to use Vendoo. And last but not least, how do you set prices for clothing for your in-person markets? Lying between too high and too low. So when I first started, I kind of just guessed, because I never really had shopped at any of these in-person vintage markets, and this was the first time that I was participating in one, you know what I mean? So my first one, I was like, I don't know, like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I really priced pretty close to eBay. So for example, my crew sweatshirts, I mainly have priced around $25. My grandpa sweaters, you know what I mean, my funky grandpa geometric sweaters, I usually have priced right around that $30 mark, and they will sell, and it's wild. Skirts, like some midi skirts, I will price $15 to $20. So I do price definitely lower than online, but not too much lower. You know, I'm pricing out what I want to get. If I expect to get $15 for a skirt, then I'm going to get $15. Also, in person, there's not as many fees. If somebody pays cash, there's no fees on it, obviously. But if somebody uses Venmo to pay me, Cash App, there are fees. I have a business account for Venmo, so there's especially fees there. But yeah, so I pretty much just guess, and it's not like yard sale prices, you know what I mean? And people that go to these in-person markets, especially the vintage ones, like, they know that they're going to be spending money, and that it's not like $1, $2 yard sale prices, you know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. But you guys, that is the end of this video. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I hope I answered all your questions. If you have any more questions, ask them down below. If you want me to clarify anything, definitely comment down below. I really appreciate you guys if you made it to the end of this video. It is now right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I am getting so freaking excited for this concert. It starts at 8 o'clock. So 5 hours from now, but I'm about to go pick up my kids in about an hour. I'm going to go pick up dinner. I'm going to then drop them over to my mom's house, and then I'm going to come back and start getting ready. And my best friend's going to come over, and I'm so excited. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a good weekend, because I believe this video is going up Monday. So I hope you had a great weekend. It's actually supposed to be pretty nice here in Pennsylvania, so I'm excited. But thanks again, you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you.